What's up, guys?
How are you?
All right, how you doing?
Good. Keith, Ryan Suckup no longer here. He was
Right.
kind of a steady Eddie for you back there,
Yeah.
certainly under 40 yards.
Right.
What is this kicking competition looking like so far between Chase and Hot Rod? And obviously has a long way to go. Won't be decided until the games,
Right.
but just your initial
Right.
impression.
Right now, I mean, I really like both guys. I like their attitude, their work ethic. They know what they're doing in terms of technique. Both two different style of kickers, but they know exactly what they're doing. And for an example, they both made it from 58 the other day, ball on the 40. So, really good competition. Very pleased with those guys. Good handle, good height on the ball, doing a really good job.
Last year when Jake Camargo was drafted, you kind of marveled at his athleticism. We
Yeah.
saw that towards the end of the season on
Right.
kind of a wild
Yeah.
punt play.
Right.
This guy's got quite the talent.
Yes.
Does he have a Pro Bowl in him? Is he a
Yes.
Pro Bowl?
Oh, no doubt. No doubt. Extremely talented. Obviously punts and kicks off. Does a really good job with both. Strong leg, very athletic guy, and loves ball. I mean, I can't say enough about him.
Punt and kick return. I know this team has had goals to add more speed. It seems
Right.
like that was something you guys were able to achieve, not just this past year, but the last 2 years.
Right.
Getting it out of the Tompkins. Just how are those competitions kind of shaping up?
It's going good. I think Devin's doing a nice job. Very twitchy, obviously. I mean, I'm just watching him out there, none of my business, but it looks like he's doing a good job at receiver as well, which makes me happy. So, exactly. You got to build a case. You know what I mean? So, but no, Devin's doing a really good job. And when we were talking about that speed last year, it wasn't just at returner. It was also we wanted to get some speed inside, the guys that are actually blocking for him. So, and I think we've done that as well.
He's the smallest player you have on the team. It's different with punts because everyone's kind of coming down together.
Right.
But on kickoffs, he's got some guys
Right.
that are in front of him.
Right.
Does that size help him maybe as these guys are running down full speed? Is it maybe harder to find him?
It's not harder to find him. We just have to make sure that we're running the right plays with him, which we do. We run more of a zone play with him than a power O, so to speak, because of his speed and because of his ability to change direction. He can get away with more single blocks and that type of stuff. So,
We've seen Servassier Dennis
yes.
make a ton of plays on defense, and he
Yep.
told me he's on every team for special teams.
yes.
How can some of that playmaking translate over into what you need?
Oh, big time. I mean, he's a first thing about Savassier is he's what I call a one-timer. You tell him one time, it's done. He lines up. You tell him one time, hey, watch the twist. Bam, picks up the twist. Very good physically. He's a physical football player, smart football player, and he can run. So that's what you're looking for. Tough, smart, athletic. He checks all boxes. I'm very happy with him.
Coach, can you, I know I've seen Trey Palmer return some punts, or at least try to.
Right.
Can you give me an overall observation of Palmer and maybe other possible positions he could play on special teams?
Well, you look at a guy like Trey as a punt returner. Obviously, he's got to learn to manage the game in this league in terms of fair catches, Peter calls, all that type of stuff. He does have the talent, does have speed. He can catch the ball, those types of things. Where he could help us is possibly a gunner, playing a 5 on kickoff coverage. We want some speed inside. Punt return, he could be in the vice. Although he's a receiver who could be in the vice, or he could possibly line up inside as on a slot, coming off the edge as a rush guy. So he could be a big 4 player.
As far as that gunner competition, how's that shaping up early in camp? Obviously, that just came out.
Well-
Any early favorites?
Well, Zion McCullum, I love him. You know what I mean? So he does a great job for us. There are some other guys that'll get in the mix. Christian Isian is another guy that comes to mind that I'm looking forward to seeing. But as we get pads on, we just had a padded day, obviously, and went against each other in vice. the other day. So, but Christian is a guy that jumps out right now.
Zion, we've seen him really take several steps forward out there on defense.
Right.
Are you seeing that same type of jump with him on special teams as well?
Yeah, he's doing really well. I mean, big man that can run. So, yeah, and that's what you want. You know what I mean? So he's doing a really good job. Happy with him. It's important to him. He knows that's how he made the team. So he hasn't changed, and I'm still happy with him.
Another guy that said he was on all special teams and he's capable of doing a lot of different things on defense is Josh Hayes. What have you seen out of him?
I think Josh Hayes is a guy that brings some physical toughness to your unit. I think he'll show up even more in games where when you're really going after each other. I think he's one of those guys you're like, whoa, I didn't know that. You know what I mean? So he may not be the 4-2 guy, but he's going to hit somebody, and you know it. So, no, I'm looking forward to seeing him.
For several years now, Pat O'Connor has been such a key cog for you on special teams. Can you
Yeah.
just talk about the value of having a 300-pounder that can run the way he does? And he's now, but he was like 270 just a couple years ago.
He presents an issue to guys. You know, in terms of punt return, he's got a block in punt return, obviously, and he's got a block on field goal block, and all of that is because he can get off of the ball. You know, and then once he gets off the ball, he beats you to the punch. Well, you got 300 pounds, and that guy's got you bent back. So he does a really good job. The biggest thing he does is he's a threat on field goal block. He's a threat on punt return, and those types of things. Kickoff coverage-wise, you know, the best thing about Pat is if you're going to run the ball at him, he's going to go set that edge, and he can actually get downfield. So he brings some physicality to the unit, some size, and creates mismatches.
You mentioned Josh Hayes being a guy that you really can kind of see what he does under the lights. Is there anybody else on special teams that you're looking forward to seeing kind of what they're able to do under the lights?
Yeah. I'd say Yaya would be a guy that you're like, okay. I'd like to see that. I'd like to see Yaya on punt. I'd like to see Yaya cover a kickoff. Very athletic, physical, and it's on tape. You know what I mean? So it wouldn't be a surprise if I saw him, you know, escape a block and make a tackle on a kickoff and run somebody down.
You guys have Zach China, who's been here for a while, steady as they come, as a long snapper, but it's rare that teams bring in with someone who's had such great experience, another long snapper to compete.
Yeah.
You guys have that with Evan Deckers. What have you seen? What have you seen out of him? What did you see out of him to want to bring him into camp and carry that as an?
Well, the biggest thing on snappers now is with the college rule, they don't block anybody. So it's kind of hard to tell whether the guy can actually vertical set and block. That's the big thing that they have to do. It's not the fact that the snapper can he run. It's can he recover and block, you know. So Evan does a really good job snapping the ball. He's a good athlete. He's got good feet, does a good job of recovering, okay, meaning being able to snap and get up because the rush is coming. He does a really good job of recovering. And when he showed me that in his workout, I figured he'd be a guy that would give us good competition. So we're trying to push everybody and create competition everywhere, and Evan's done a good job. I think what will happen moving forward, I think that answer will get that question will get answered by more people with the XFL and the USFL because it's more of a pro-style punt protection. You'll see more young snappers getting a chance in this league.
On your field goal and PAT units, you've got a couple of defensive players, and you've had those guys for a while now. But
Yeah, Vita Vea.
Vita Vea especially.
It's hard to get past him.
If you can just speak to that, and Will Golston also.
Yeah, Will Golston, Vita Vea, two guys that you can trust. You know, it's important to them. They'd go through a wall for you. There are two guys that you can trust. They're pros. I totally respect them. They'll do anything for you, and more times than not, they block three people. You know, so the end's got to latch on. He's got to close off the C gap, and then he's got a guy coming right down the middle of him, and then he's got to punch out to a safety. So he's got to block three guys. So you have to be a bigger person, obviously, to get that job done. So
it's so easy for you to put another tackle or guard out there in those spots because they're used to
Right.
pass protection. It's really
Right.
what it is.
Right.
But what was the origin way back when? Because you've been doing it for years. Of
Right.
Putting Vita and goals.
The thing was, it's the bigger you are, the better you are. So here's the thing: I never used the backup snapper or the center, and I never want to fool with Ryan. You know what I mean? So I don't want to mess with the starting center or the backup. I'm staying away from that. You know what I mean? So, but the biggest thing was the size. It was so much easier that when you get bigger people, it's just so much easier to close off those gaps. And then footwork wise, and like you're saying, offensive guys can do it. Walton's a good one as our backup tackle. He does a really good job with it because he has that width and length that you're looking for. So the bigger they are, the better. You know, less chance for error.
Coach, for players looking to earn a starting spot on either offense or defense, what does making an impact on special teams do for that position competition?
For some guys, it may be a deciding factor. Honestly, salary cap. You know what I mean? You know, there's competition in some spots, and in some spots it is what it is. You know, and then that's where I come in. I got to get the best out of them. You know, so. But for a few guys, it'll come down to special teams. You know. Coach Bowles is big on it. He's looking for guys. He's looking for dogs. He's looking for guys that want to get after it. So,
When it was Coach Arians' team, that was the difference maker most of the time. Like with a guy could provide a lot of depth out of position, but if he didn't play teams, you went with the guy that could play special teams. Is it just as important for this coaching staff under Coach Bowles?
yes. Yep.
Since you've been here, there have not been a lot of fakes. One was last year on the punt that there was an execution problem and it didn't work. Todd Bowles is kind of known as more of a conservative coach. Are you inclined to maybe take some more chances yourself, and do you have to sell your head coach on that? Just tell me about that process about that, because you see some teams around the league that are maybe a little bit more apt to going for it on fourth down or this or that.
Right. Versus running a fake. Yeah. No, I'm all for fakes. You know, I think Todd is in on fakes. But you know, I mean, obviously it has to be the right situation in the right time. And then unfortunately we had one, right situation, right time, and it didn't work. But no, we're not afraid to run fakes. It's there and it's in. You know, it's just a matter of we just got to pull them off and execute. But I'll say this too: when you look around the league, because obviously we get every play from the league. You look around the league, most fakes don't work. You know what I mean? There's a good percentage of fakes that there's usually, and it's not because the fake didn't work, the flag on the ground. You know what I'm saying? Somebody grabbed a guy or something like that, whatever. But no, we're looking at them, and we've always got them in. They're always there. I mean, obviously, just like offense, right? If we call a fake, there's a check. So if the look's not there, you check out of it, you punt the football, or you check out of it. And if it was going to be a reverse and they kick it the wrong way, bam. Obviously, we're checking out of it when we see the flight of the ball. So.
Couple more. Coach, the league's always changing, adaptability, you have to adapt to survive. Is there anything that you've taken and added to your process this year as you coach another season of special teams?
Give it to me one more time.
Is there anything that you've added to your process that maybe you weren't doing last year, this year?
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, there's a few things. I mean, in our return game that I've changed that I think will help us. I obviously don't want to get into it and elaborate on it, but there's a few things there that I've changed that can help us. And pump protection. I mean, every year you grow. And every year you're going to add on to something. So in every phase, we'll get Keith and I will get on some tape. We watch tape around the league, and you'll see situations. And if things come up that interest us, I mean, obviously, we've got those things, we've made those changes, and we've made some adjustments. The biggest thing is execution. And Coach Bowles has given us extra time, which is really going to help us, in particular being a younger group. So we'll need that time for technique and to be able to execute our scheme. But yes, we're always looking for change, always looking for something better. That's this league. It's a copycat league all the way around, special teams included.
How difficult is it getting, younger guys that have just come into the league, getting them to refine their technique and execution to go have results out on Sundays?
I tell you what, this group here is really good. I mean, I haven't had a problem with these guys at all. Young group, very interested in everything that we're talking about and willing. So I'm very happy with the group that we have. They're working hard, and it's a very willing group.
Okay, thank you.
Appreciate it, guys. Thank you.